Hey, everybody. I'm your host, Jared Zisser. I am so excited to be here with all of you. And I want to jump into this. There is going to be a video of me posted on the YouTube page because I would really love to share who I am as a person, my values, and what I'm going to be bringing to this channel that is so desperately needed in America right now. All right, but let's go ahead and get into this story that I really want to talk to you guys about. Trump took a terrible opportunity today on Air Force One while lying to the American people when asked a question by a member of the press about the SNAP benefits that are basically going to expire. This is being aired today. So today. Now, this has been a very big issue that's been talked about all over the place. There are nonprofits and multiple small companies and even some big businesses that are doing what they can to help make sure the impact of this is not felt as hard as we know it will be. For instance, there's 11 businesses that I know of in Portland that are doing what they can to make sure families don't go hungry in the area, including raising $185,000 for Heretic Coffee Co., which is basically a coffee shop that's saying if you don't have your SNAP benefits, or if you can't figure out how to feed your family, please come in to our store, tell them that you want the SNAP breakfast, and they basically will make sure that you leave with food for that day. And there's volunteers from Reed College that are helping with it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful project. It just goes to show you that when the government fails you, like it's doing in several ways right now, at least some Americans will step up and do what they have to do to make sure you and your family are taken care of. Now, on the plane, Trump said that majority of the individuals in America that are using SNAP benefits are Democrats.
Largely, when you talk about SNAP, you're talking about largely Democrats. But I'm president. I want to help everybody. I want to help Democrats and Republicans. But when you're talking about SNAP, if you look, it's largely Democrats. They're hurting their own people. Thank you very much, everybody.
And he's taken the opportunity to say that he wants to take care of everybody. He loves the Democrats. He loves them just as much as Republicans, although he keeps saying how much he does not like the Democrats and how much he loves the Republicans, even though he threatens the Republicans as well. Now, this is the thing I want to talk about this, okay? He said that Democrats are a majority of the users when it comes to SNAP benefits. I'm going to show you some things on the screen right now while I go over them, because that's not true, actually. And there's three major states that use SNAP benefits. One of them is California, one's Florida, and one is Texas. We're going to go over those three just real quick. For instance, going to the California map, if you actually observe this piece of paper that I'm showing you right now, you will see that the majority of SNAP users in California are actually in the rural and small town areas that if you cross reference, you'll notice that actually vote Republican. Interesting. Looking at Florida as well. Same situation, guys. You look at Florida, look at the map on there. The areas that are more enrolled with SNAP are actually the areas that are voting Republican. Go to Texas, Big T. This one right here is exactly the same. Okay. All right. 33,000 households are on SNAP. And if you were to look at these, you'll see that there are, in Texas is a big contender. There are a couple of Democratic areas in Texas that are on SNAP at a higher level. But if you really look at it, you'll see that majority of the areas that are using SNAP are Republican voting areas. Now, that basically tells Trump right there that he is not being truthful with the American people. Based on USDA research, right? That's what this is based off of. Okay. And based off of that, we're looking at about a 50 to 60% of SNAP users being in Republican voting areas. Now, look, I hate to make this a Democrat and Republican situation because when it comes down to it, we're talking about human beings, not even just Americans, human beings. All right. And I firmly believe that food, water, not starving in general, should be a human right that nobody has to ever worry about. That is my opinion. That's part of my value system. And the fact that Trump is using this situation to basically try to, I don't know, get some Democrat votes to come over during midterms, make himself look really good is really sickening to me. Because this is a situation where if he really cared about people, if he was really American first, he would make sure that $5 billion that's set aside for emergency use, which could be used for this, which two judges, by the way, have ruled he has to use Knowing Trump, that doesn't mean anything. Um, this was a great opportunity for him to do that. A great opportunity for him to show what America First really means. But instead, he is more focused on getting, quick reaction forces with National Guard, which would be used on Americans. And he's complaining about, the No King's Day or creating AI images of himself defecating on Americans protesting, celebrating, and exercising their First Amendment right, which is such a beautiful thing, by the way. In other words, SNAP is not a Democrat program. This is a program for Americans. This is a program that if you need it, it is there for you. Because again, food and water should never, ever be anything but a human right that is met nowhere, no matter where you are in this country.